And it's a Terran versus Protoss, getting tongue-tied there. Spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, playing for Team Revolution, it is KeeN. And his opponent, playing for Meloria Esports, it is Hurricane. So a completely different matchup here, completely different players. Both of these guys are brand new to Afreeca World, so should be exciting to have them. I'm glad that we have some new fresh faces. The winner of this will have a tough opponent, being a laser. It'll be interesting either way because Hurricane obviously being the teammate with a laser. And sort of, we're still evaluating Hurricane's play to some degree. And then KeeN, who's a player who's very solid. So we'll just have to see how this is gonna work out here. Build-wise, I expect we'll see maybe a cheese or two from either of these guys. I mean, these guys are a bit of not necessarily wild factors, but there's a bit of free spirit in them. I could see a something like that Void Ray cheese coming out of Hurricane, or maybe a Adept Rush, something like that. Whereas KeeN certainly could go for a Proxy Rax or Cyclone, or really anything that you can name. So Reaper is on the way here for KeeN, so standard stuff. Command center out on the map already. Hurricane going to be going for that wall up to stop the Reaper from jumping up there. So Reaper's coming out for KeeN. Stalker on the way for Hurricane, so not opting for the Adept. Stalker's very good for shutting this down. Looks like he's wanting to go with that probe to wall that off. Actually, no, he didn't wall off, interestingly enough. So that Reaper could always jump on in there. Or is it actually... Okay, pardon me. I believe just the one pylon actually does do the blocking. You'll have to forgive me. I don't think the Reaper can jump up just there. It's just one of the way the maps are designed. Now, where's that Reaper gotten to? Hiding in those bushes there. Gonna dive on in, maybe try and get a probe. Not gonna get it though, gonna have to run away. That Stalker right in position for Hurricane. Not being baited out or moving out of curiosity. Knew exactly where that Reaper could come in and he was prepared. Now KeeN going for the Hellions. I am a huge fan. I know you guys don't care what I'm a fan of, but I love Hellion run-bys. Versus Zerg, they can work. Hellion drops, not a fan of them. Hellion run-bys versus Protoss, I love them. I love them to bits. Protoss players have to play very, very well in order to defend something like this. So far we have these Hellions looking to get on in there. There's just the Adept here. Now we'll see. Are they actually just going to go for it? They are. The Reaper's going to dive on in, but the Hellions are already just getting on in here. KeeN following this up with a third command center as well back at home, but these probes are lining up. Actually going into the main base, interestingly enough. Maybe, might have been the poor choice there with the Immortal coming out. We'll see. Is he going to be able to get that one? No. Only gets 2 probes, though. That could have been so much better for KeeN if he had decided to go for those probes that sectioned off there or commit more at the natural. But keep in mind, it was just 2 Hellions and a Reaper. He got the Scout on the Robo. So, completely sort of different there. So we've got a siege tank on the way for KeeN, getting prepared to follow this up right now. Starport on the way. Marines are on the way. Bunker on the way. Now we have this Adept moving into Scout. Gonna see these Cyclones. Now the one Immortal certainly packs a punch here, and look at all these gateways popping up from Hurricane. This is just one of those cheeky plays. He's just going to have this Warp Prism. This Warp Prism is going to be the key to this attack, but it might just be enough here. We have the Siege Tank coming in, but it's just going to be massive Warp-ins from Hurricane right now. The Bunker should be enough to hold the front. We'll have to see if KeeN gets caught out of position here. Now we made the one Siege Tank. Where's that getting set up? Right at the natural there. But defending the main base is a different story, and mass Warp-ins are going to be an option here for Hurricane in just a second right now. All these gateways will finish up right now. The Cyclones, if they get a good lock on the Warp Prism, that would be absolutely huge, as Hurricane completely will depend on this. Bit of damage being done to it, but nothing major there. Third CC is up for KeeN, and it's already mining, getting ready to drop mules. Now, Hurricane isn't aware that that's out for KeeN necessarily. He hasn't sort of seen this area. There could be barracks up there. You can never exactly know, but Hurricane's coming in. There's the 2 siege tanks set up, and these are a lot of soft units there. Bunker getting repaired as well, so Hurricane not just getting in on top of it, not getting what he needs. There's not really enough anti-air to push back this Viking here. It may just be able to commit for the Warp Prism, but that 1 Stalker actually will be enough to push it back there. So those 2 siege tanks, and just the unit choice for Hurricane, the sentries, the adepts, the zealots, they were all just so clumped up there to the siege tanks, so you had to cancel that attack there. And there's only so much you can do with non-stimmed with a non-upgraded gateway units. Guardian Shield isn't going to protect from siege tank shots or anything like that. Cyclones and Viking likely going to be getting repaired there. There we go. Now, Hurricane, he is transitioning here, but he's significantly behind. That was an accidental zoom, by the way. I'm not dramatically zooming in on the Nexus there. We've got the Nexus is just coming up, though, and KeeN, he had a 3rd base up just before this attack even hit, so he's going to be happily macroing away here. And this was a very greedy play from KeeN, by the way. His stim is just starting here. His extra barracks is just starting, so maybe there'll be room for Hurricane to come in for another attack. KeeN opting for a double Cyclone drop. Hurricane's back at his base right now. He's on the back foot. And KeeN scanning this Nexus is going to be jumping for joy here. Hurricane committed so much to that attack. It was just one of those odd timings, but it didn't quite work out. And that's the thing with those builds. Sometimes they work out very well, sometimes they fall flat on their face. Right now we're seeing an interesting micro battle. These Cyclones are trying to chase down this Warp Prism. It might be safe at the back here, but the Vikings actually coming in. But good recall there from Hurricane. Manages to save it just barely. These Zealots doing their best versus these Cyclones, but they do go down. KeeN likely will want to bring them back to repair. No, he's actually diving on in, maybe playing the bit of mind games there. Out of range of that tower, now we see a Hurricane. He's going to be playing this heavy ground style, and when I say ground, only ground units, no Colossus reaching into the sky. Just going to be going for this Psystorm, and now Psystorm, it's been killing Terrans. It's been the comeback unit for Protoss. It's just fantastic. I mean, so we'll just have to see what it's able to get done here. Looks like a KeeN may be able to pick off a Pylon. There's the Immortal, there's the Stalker, so gonna need to be careful. Gets the Pylon, gets out. I don't think he should push his luck any further, though. Gonna be able to pick off that Probe, nicely done. Sees that Hurricane was maybe looking for a 4th base. Does have to get out of there, though, but there's not too much to recall that. 1 feedback from a Templar, though, would kill that Medivac. That Zealot's days are numbered. KeeN does need to be careful, though. Can't lose one of those Cyclones. Good micro there. Upgrade-wise, KeeN already has his +1. Is there an armory, though? There is an armory, so he will be able to start his +2 when he can. He's up on army... Well, he's actually down on army supply, but his economy is fantastic here. He's getting up a 4th base. Hurricane's still only on 3 bases, so this attack is going to be everything, and this could be huge here. There's just the 2 High Templar. The Widow Mines are going to siege on up there. One of the mines goes off. Doesn't get much of anything, though. The Zealots were already doomed there. Now, the High Templar for Hurricane are going to be absolutely everything. But KeeN with his siege tanks, with his ever-growing army, are going to be pretty huge here. He scans up there, sees that army. The mines are moving out of position. They may get caught there. He needs to be careful. But so far, Hurricane is buying time, and I think time is what he needs. That traitorous... Well, that Phoenix was going to try and make those mines become traitors, but KeeN reacting very well there. High Templar and a Warp Prism can always get something done here. 4 High Templar and a Warp Prism. Oh god, the Medivacs are loaded up. He could drop in feedback, but he doesn't quite manage to do that. Now KeeN's heading straight into the natural. Hurricane actually recalling there. Oh, but he's out of position. They're the units in the Medivacs. Oh god, if he gets a feedback, those are full energy Medivacs. Oh god, there's High Templar in there. He needs to be careful. He may just be caught there. KeeN trying to get to these more High Templar warped in, and they can feedback instantly. If Hurricane's paying attention, 1 goes down immediately. Oh god, there's just so much going on right now. We have the Liberator is getting good damage done, though. This drop is going to hit into the natural. It's going to force some warp-ins. And keep in mind, this is just a small fragment of KeeN's army. He's got a lot of bulk back at home. He's getting some good damage with this drop done, though. Some of those gateways are going to be unpowered there. Probes are going to fall as well. 10 have gone down so far. Hurricane reaching a dangerously low amount with that Liberator and with this drop harassment. But that Liberator still actually hasn't been cleaned up, so a lot of damage being done there by KeeN. And now we'll see when the next round hits for KeeN. He's got that planetary up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 5th up. There we go for KeeN. Now we have a +2 finished up for KeeN. Hurricane currently just on 1-1. No sign of 2-2 starting. So KeeN's going to have a nice upgraded advantage. There's the 2-2. We'll see if Chrono Boost gets dumped into that later on. Hurricane certainly has the energy, so he's going to want to keep up on that. But looks like Hurricane may be getting desperate here. However, he's got this Warp Prism, and all this bio is so clumped up right now. KeeN going to have to be careful, force that back. Now, it is very difficult for Protoss to unload the High Templar, then storm with them. So we'll just have to see what's happening here. KeeN, Ghosts are on the way. Those will be absolutely huge versus this ground army. There's a lot of Widow Mines, there's Liberators and Siege Tanks, so his army's not poor by any means just yet. However, this grounding army of Hurricane is looking pretty strong. It's pushing on Stalkers, sort of blink forward. A lot of Storm is going down. Reinforcement for KeeN is coming in. Widow Mines aren't quite sieged up just yet, but there's enough for KeeN. It seems that he may have just shut this down for Hurricane. And with that, I think that could simply be game there. I mean, Hurricane, his economy has sort of fallen apart at this point. His macro seems to have slipped a little bit. He's not been chrono boosting out these upgrades. I'm getting used to a new mouse still, by the way, guys, so you'll have to forgive me for that constant zooming. Now, chrono boost is finally going into those upgrades there, but there's still going to be the lead for KeeN as he's already started his +3 Ghosts are out, which are going to be absolutely huge versus this army. This ground army is really strong up until it meets Ghosts, and then it can sort of just melt away. Now, KeeN, his army supply isn't that high. He's on 5 bases, so he's got a fantastic economy. But it's always possible that Hurricane can pull a fast one. It will be tough for Hurricane, but it's possible. Now, Hurricane has seen the Ghost here. It's currently just singular Ghost. And no sign... Oh, there's another being made there. We'll see if KeeN's able to get anything done. He's significantly ahead in supply. But there is just one Ghost with this army, and look at this. KeeN returning the favor, dropping this Ghost. Doesn't land the EMP, though. Fantastic feedback from Hurricane. And that might put the brakes on this train for KeeN right now. He's being chased back. He picks up those Siege Tanks there, but that was a mistake. Good blink forward by Hurricane, picking those off. And now KeeN's running home, being chased by an army that's down on supply. I wonder if this will make Hurricane overconfident, though. I mean, this is still a massive army for KeeN. More Liberators are coming out. Here comes that army for Hurricane. Is KeeN aware of this, though? He's aware of it now. We'll see if these EMPs can land. There's some High Templar back here somewhere. That's very important that KeeN's able to get those. He's looking. One EMP goes off, and that's actually all the High Templar. And with this, I think KeeN should just be able to steamroll this army here. Hurricane's in trouble, and I think he knows that right now this bio is just going to kite back. The Zealots are gone, and there goes all the bulk. Widow Mines picking off those Archons, which just finished morphing at the wrong time there. And now Hurricane forced back, and I don't know if he'll be able to stay alive after this engagement. Colossus on the way. Fantastic unit in this situation, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. He's just getting extended Thermal Lance. Hurricane's rather broke as well. He's half the army supply. He's got some High Templar, but there's no Storm just yet. That one Zealot sacrificing himself, but the noose of KeeN is going to start tightening. Hurricane blinks forward, quickly regrets that. And I think KeeN is going to be up 1-0 in this series. Hurricane may already be thinking about the next game here. EMPs go down. This Protoss army has virtually no shields right now. 5th base, but that's a bit far-fetched there. So many Ghosts for KeeN. More EMPs going down. There's a good EMP on some critical High Templar. This Nexus, will Hurricane be able to save it? Doesn't look like it. These Stalkers are just going to be so weak here. Storms go down, but that is the last of the Storms. This one Colossus is going to have a lot of work to do. Extended Thermal Lance just finished up, but there's just that one Viking, which actually really helped out with cleaning it up. No more Colossus on the way or anything like that. I think Hurricane is all but done for here. It's just been a slow death for our Protoss player. He's going to come in at the back. A good surround on these Liberators. Maybe get some of them. The Charge Lots are going to get on top of this bio. The bio's rather weak, but the EMP just shreds these Stalkers here. GG gets called. KeeN takes the 1-0 lead in a crazy game there. So we're going to get on in to the next map, which is actually going to be Blackpink. Always getting Backwater and Blackpink confused here. So Blackpink is the next map. That, of course, was Hurricane's pick, KeeN being the higher seed. Thank you guys for tuning into Afreeca World. Cracking 400 viewers is fantastic to see for this tournament, even if most of you can't understand what I'm saying, or simply don't care. Alrighty, just waiting for all the players to get into the game here. Thank you all for tuning in. It's lovely to see this many viewers. Make sure to one up, give it that thumbs up on the stream. Give it that star, that favorite. And you can also follow me on Twitter, at LaughNgamez. I'm on YouTube. All the VODs will be there too, at LaughNgamez. Just getting both these guys ready, then we'll get on into the next match. Okay, here we are. That first match was fantastic. We're just going to get on into the next one. Alrighty, here we are. So, spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map, currently up 1-0, playing for Team Revolution. It is KeeN. And his opponent spawning down in the bottom left-hand side of the map, playing for Meloria Esports, Hurricane. We'll have to see what the build is coming out of both these guys. I mean, the last game, now that was Backwater. That map is very good for macro. KeeN went greedy, he got away with it. Not to sort of knock Hurricane, but his attack fell completely flat on its face, as far as that goes. I mean, he committed something like 8 gateways he had, a very late third base, so he was just behind. If he had won that game, in fact, I'd have been very surprised, and I think KeeN would have been very upset. So far, this probe coming into scout, crossing the SCV there. Bit of harassment going down from this probe. Meanwhile, that Nexus is getting started there. So standard stuff coming out of Hurricane. I believe he'll throw up his pylon there. Stop the Reaper. I'm slowly learning these things. I was like, oh yeah, you can... with the meta on these maps, everyone was sort of like, oh yeah, if you throw up a pylon and a few other buildings, you can block off the Terran's Reaper. Then everyone just says, then everyone figured out, no, you can just build a pylon and it'll do it fine. There's just one spot the Reaper can get up. So this, both these guys scouting each other out. Reaper coming on out for KeeN here. Twilight Council is the tech of choice for Hurricane now. Whether KeeN's going to be able to scout this or not is the question now. The Adept is coming out for Hurricane. The Reaper's moving in for KeeN. Is this Reaper going to get in? No, it will not. And now the question is, what sort of cheeky stuff is Hurricane up to? That's the magic pylon spot. Prevents the Reaper from getting up this cliff. An Adept coming in. I believe actually just picking off a Marine there, getting out. But with this Hellion, Hellions and Adepts have an odd interaction, but with that Reaper, it looks like it will go down there. So KeeN came out on the favorable end of that trade. Hellion gonna get repaired. Now KeeN didn't get too much damage at the start of that last game. He went for those 2 Hellions and the Reaper to try and poke in, see what he could get done there. Didn't make the most of it, so to speak, but this time it's more about just that scouting he's interested in. Sees the 2 Stalkers, but as far as everything else, he's playing in the blind, and there is Blink on the way for Hurricane. Now, 2 Stalkers, not necessarily a big giveaway or anything like that. Hurricane isn't committing to a large attack here anyway. He's getting up a 3rd base, it seems, so nothing out of the ordinary there. Now, KeeN's going for a drop here. These Stalkers are gonna be, we'll see if they're in position here. 2 of them are in the main base, but they don't have Blink just yet. Another one's warping in. 3 is a pretty significant number to deal with this, so we shall see what KeeN's able to get done. Hurricane certainly knows something like this could be coming, and he's actually in position for it. But KeeN's boosting on by. Widowmine is going to drop. KeeN unloading these Marines now, and these probes are out of position. Oh my god, 9 probes just went down. Okay, Hurricane did the worst possible Protoss thing to do, which is stack up the probes. He didn't react just in time, maybe seeing that mine a second too late. Now KeeN, I think, has done pretty critical damage so far. KeeN throwing up a bunker immediately, just saying, alright, I just need to play it safe from here on out. He might have even seen the Chrono Boost. No, he hasn't even seen the Twilight Council just yet. But he knows that may as well play it safe from here on out. There's nothing that Hurricane could be doing if he's just macroing up that will bring him back from that deficit easily. So KeeN just knows, as long as I don't die now, should be in a fine situation. That was some massive damage there. Hurricane has a 3rd Nexus up, so he'll have that 3 Nexus Chrono Boost probe. He's going for a double Forge, so it looks like he will just be trying to macro out of this. I mean, it's not like he was going for a big Stalker attack anyway. So I guess the only thing he'll have as compensation is KeeN playing it a little bit safe. KeeN's not going for a 3rd base or anything just like this, but it's possible he'll just follow this up with a big 2-base attack, and KeeN's getting his +1, so the players will be equal on upgrades. But once KeeN is ready to move out and attack, he'll have a few siege tanks. He'll have some stim bio, and as far as the tech for Hurricane goes, I don't think there's too much else that'll work out for him. Twilight Council on the way, so he is likely going to be playing that Psystorm once again. Double upgrade this time. Quite quick, so he will have an upgrade. Or, pardon me, what am I talking about? No, he's just on the 1 Forge. Silly me. So yeah. So Hurricane is still just playing this ground style. Immortals, I'm a big fan of it personally. I mean, if you have Immortals, some sentries to support them, and you take good engagement versus Terran, it can be surprisingly strong. Now, whether it'll be strong enough or in time to defend against this timing push of KeeN is a different question. Psionic Storm is not quite on the way. He loses that Observer too, which is unfortunate. I don't think he quite saw that move out either, but he can sort of assume this is coming. But he didn't even see if there was a 3rd base. I mean, he saw there was no 3rd at the usual 3rd, but hasn't seen there was no 3rd there. Now he knows this is coming, but Hurricane's going to be in a lot of trouble here. He's doing a good job microing these Stalkers. These Marines don't have combat shield just yet. Concussive Shell just finished for KeeN, but there's no Marauders, and now actually KeeN could be caught off guard here. Charge just finished up right now. He needs to be careful. A lot of reinforcements are coming in, and these force fields may actually work against Hurricane here. KeeN pulling back, taking the fight as well as he can, but for these charge lots grouping up right now, KeeN doing the best of his micro ability, but he does get forced back there. That was one of the good fights that Hurricane needed. Hurricane does recall, though. KeeN simultaneously, such a good player, going for a drop in the main base. Only 4 probes have gone down so far, but a few more are going to start falling as these Stim Marines try and focus down what they can. 3rd base, going to have a Marine or 2 drop there as well. And now KeeN's going to be sieging up very close to this 3rd base now. So Hurricane might just be falling apart. He had that one good fight, but coming back is still quite a hill to climb. He goes for the fight, he blinks on top, picks off one of the siege tanks. The reinforcements for KeeN aren't just quite in time, but most of that buffer for these two Immortals go down, and with that I think they're going to fall, and I think that's going to be Hurricane going down in this game and taking quite a deficit in this series right now. KeeN microing these bio units to the best of his ability, and just every trade he gets is really going his way this game. Hurricane blinks forward, picking off a Medivac. I gotta say he's had good Stalker control this game. But it is still just Zealots, Stalkers. I believe the Templar Archives might have gotten picked off there. Yeah, it must have been. Or wait, pardon me. He's building another. He already has one. Okay, so it wasn't picked off. But Hurricane maybe a little bit tilted there, or just... Either way, Psionic Storm's going to be a ways off, and KeeN's Bio Army's looking really strong now. He's going to have 2-2. So we'll have a brief, or 1-1, pardon me, so we'll have a brief upgrade advantage right now. These Zealots are just getting melted here. Hurricane's warping in more, but he won't have any Archons, he won't have Psionic Storm. The one Archon is starting, but it's a little bit too late. Now KeeN's reached his critical biomass. Zealots and Stalkers are good, but when it comes to just trading with Bio like this is where Bio exceeds right now. I mean, he's doing a good job in this fight, but looks like it's not going to go his way. GG gets called. KeeN takes the 2-0 lead in this series. So, we'll get on into the next match, which is going to be Catalyst, pardon me. Not Catalina. Thank you guys for tuning into Afreeca World. Now, KeeN, it looks like he's playing pretty good. I personally haven't seen his GSL games. But, oh, whoops. Apparently KeeN played pretty well in the GSL despite not making it out of his group. So we'll just see if Hurricane's able to bring it back. Catalyst. This is KeeN's map pick as well. So we'll see what Hurricane's able to get done. And keep in mind, the winner of this, guys, goes on to play versus a laser. So we'll see who gets the honor and challenge of doing that. Alrighty, here we are getting on into the next game. It's possibly the last one for Hurricane. Alrighty. But it's the best of 5. Currently up 2-0, spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. Playing for Team Revolution. It is KeeN. And, pardon me for the past two introductions, but playing for Team Meliora, I believe, Meliora. I was just corrected on how to pronounce it. It's Hurricane. So we'll see what Hurricane's able to do. I mean, he's stuck to this ground-based style. The first game, he went for the attack, and it was understandable how far behind he was. In the second one, that Widow Mine. I mean, Widow Mines still doing their job. They've been in the game, what now, 5-6 years at this point, and they're still getting what they need to do done. Even after that burrow nerf, as long as the first shot gets something like 9 probes, like that last game, at so early in the game as well. So Hurricane's scouting out. I don't think that's a bad decision when someone like when you're playing versus someone like KeeN. But he'll just see that it looks like it's going to be pretty standard play. KeeN going for his own scout. But so far, nothing cheeky out of these guys. Hurricane playing at standard. SCV working away on this probe. Eventually that probe will have to retreat or die, but it's delaying the command center a little bit. Command center gets up, probe runs out. We'll see if the Reaper's able to track it down, but guy like Hurricane, gonna know the timings, gonna know exactly when to pull that back. There was the whole debate sort of settled on whether you should recall the probe or not. But Hurricane just opting to walk it back and going to have that Chrono Boost anyway. Best of both worlds there. Reaper's moving in for KeeN. Hurricane going to have out that Adept there to push it back. Stargate started, which is going to block that. And now we'll see if KeeN's able to get in with this. Oh, and he might have just sort of faked out Hurricane here. Hurricane might just be out of position with this Adept. We'll see. Does KeeN know the timing so well? Oh, this is just such a good spot here. That Reaper's going to dive on in and Hurricane's out of position. KeeN's actually going to opt for the probe kills, not the scout, and he hasn't gotten anything just so far. And now a second Adept has popped out. And we'll see if KeeN's able to scout this Stargate, which would always be nice, but not going to get any kills with this Reaper. So Hurricane doing a good job with that defense there, even though KeeN sort of pulled a fast one on him. KeeN did get that scout though, so he's going to know that he'll need to be prepared. He's got Widow Mines on the way as well though, so you can always have one of those burrowed, and that can quickly turn a game sour for a Protoss who opened Oracle. Viking on the way here. So that's going to be the anti-Oracle. A few Marines as well, so KeeN looked like he was planning to go for that sort of similar drop build. 2 Adepts are actually coming in here. Hurricane lets one of them finish, but so far it's just 4 Marines versus these Adepts. An SCV pulled to the front lines. One of those Marines gets focused down. The SCV gonna stay alive. But with that mine burrowing, those Adepts can't really get any further. Aw, Hurricane trying to time out that Widow Mine bait. Now there's an Oracle and 3 Adepts. So this is getting pretty interesting right now. The Oracle hanging out at the front. Maybe a little bit worrying for KeeN there. Depots are going to be raised. We'll see if he just goes on top of these Marines here. I don't know how this is. I think this is going to work out for KeeN. That mine hasn't detonated just yet. The Vikings working away on the Oracle though, so a whole lot of nothing going on really. I mean, Hurricane didn't get on in there. Didn't commit, so neither of those guys really taking any trades. One of those Widow Mines did pick off something. Would have been another Oracle, so that was a nice pickoff for KeeN there with a cheeky Widow Mine. I didn't even see that was out there. Now another Oracle did activate its pulsar beam already though, so it's going to be down on energy a little bit. That Viking's in position though to force it back. Hurricane looking around. Revelation goes down on that Viking. So Hurricane committed to that Stargate, didn't really get anything done. I mean, he kept KeeN on the back foot a little bit, but KeeN's now attacking Hurricane. Got good information though. Is aware that the stim and combat shield are on the way, so he's going to be preparing for this attack. He's got a 3rd base on the way in the face of this, though. Does he have a robo up or anything? No, and he's making blink. So defending against the stim Marine Marauder attack that's coming, it's going to be tough. Maybe he can get out an Immortal with these sentries, have his +1, some blink. We'll just have to see how this times out, if he's going to be able to defend this with relative ease or not. Because he certainly knows it's coming. More gateways are on the way for Hurricane. KeeN's still got to wait for this stim and whatnot to finish. We'll see if he throws up more racks or throws up a 3rd CC. Hurricane's on quite even footing in this game, despite not really getting anything done with this opening. He's actually getting the first bit of damage done so far. Vikings kill Oracles very, very slowly. So that Oracle actually going to kill... Oh, it doesn't quite get on that Viking. With his snipe there, incredible range, picking off that Oracle. Not having to worry about that is a very nice bonus for KeeN, particularly since he never did invest in those missile turrets. KeeN opting for the drop as well. Hurricane doesn't have the Oracle anymore, so he can't really be aware of the positioning. So we'll see what this drop's able to get down. Now, Hurricane does have blink, but he doesn't have too many stalkers just yet. He's got 5, but they're more worried about a poke on the 3rd base, I think, which KeeN is actually going to be going for a 1-2. And I think KeeN's going to hit hard on both fronts here, so we'll have to see what Hurricane's able to do. If he can shut down this drop with relative ease and then manage to clean up the third base. That would be very good for him, but this is quite a scary army for KeeN right now. He's just going to begin poking. The drop's going to be hitting in the natural. There's Zealots, but there's no charge just yet, so KeeN's going to have to unload, burrows those mines immediately. These Zealots are going to be sacrificed to detonate those, but this drop in the main is going to be cleaned up, I think. Now the question is, what will get done at the third base here? If KeeN can get the third, that would be huge with all these mines. He just might be able to, but fantastic force fields out of Hurricane. A Widowmine shot goes off, doesn't get too many kills there actually. A Stalker goes down. KeeN is rallying towards this third base though. Hurricane's reinforcements should be coming in now though. They're a little delayed there though, so KeeN's taking some nice trades still. Both these guys have +1 upgrades, but these Marauders are doing good versus these Stalkers. They're starting to sort of wear thin here for Hurricane, but so is KeeN. He's split off a good chunk of units right now. He does have the Medivacs though to keep these few units going still. There's the Observer as well, and this is a good chunk of Stalkers here. With these mines going down, I think it's going to be a troublesome spot for KeeN right now. Hurricane maybe looking good to come back in this series by taking his first game. He's pushing KeeN back right now. KeeN's down 20 supply. He's just starting his third base here, which is quite worrisome for our Korean Terran. Army, or resources lost. Looking at this, well, and in the bottom right, you can see that KeeN is actually behind. So Hurricane taking good trades. He did what he needed to do. He cleaned up that drop in the main base, then managed to hold on at the third. Those were some fantastic force fields. Double Liberator production is coming out at the natural. Fourth base is on the way for Hurricane, so he's not going to be going for a killing move. He's going to be macroing up, it seems, but he's still in quite a good macro position. He's heading into 2-2. KeeN currently just getting his +1 armor, so he's going to be down upgrades. Getting out a Ghost Academy, which I think is a good choice here, but I'm not even sure if that's going to have time to come to his benefit right now. These Stalkers could get caught here. He needs to be careful not to overextend. The Zealot run-by is going to get scouted here. Hurricane, though, mainly just staying back, getting up to Psionic Storm. KeeN has the Ghost Academy done now. A Widowmine drop only gets 3 kills. So KeeN trying to find something to come back in this game. So far getting nothing, though. He's up in army supply once again, though, as Hurricane has invested into this fourth base, into his 2-2, into his Storm, whereas KeeN's really just churning out army here. So he's going to try and make a bit of a miracle happen here. I mean, he's down a fair bit. With the Psionic Storm finishing up, he's going to need to take a very good fight. Hurricane's just been playing so solid right now, and he's really going to power up in the coming time. Fourth base is up for Hurricane, so his income is just getting very high up. That Medivac was picked off there, I believe. 2-2 now finished up for Hurricane, so his Zealots are just going to be so problematic for KeeN here. A Stargate getting rebuilt once again. For that later tech for Hurricane. Those High Templars are in position right now. KeeN's getting forced back. Just a small contingent of his army could get caught, but it could be an overextension here by Hurricane. Good EMP lands, but there's still more High Templar with Storm, and KeeN could be overextending. One of those Storms hits that army. He's forced back right now. So far, though, eating a lot of those Zealots up. The Liberator fleet is coming in right now, and these Liberators are just going to siege up. KeeN's going to run on in, but the Liberators are sort of facing the wrong direction as this army's going to be able to kite up into this choke, but that's exactly what it is. We'll have to see how this fight's going to work out. Those Zealots go down, but now this army is coming from the back. Some of the Liberators repositioning. Stalkers blink forward here, but most of the bio has gone down for KeeN. The Liberators are going to dish out a lot of damage, but beyond that, there's not too much for KeeN. Taking quite a decent trade there. But at this point, just a trade isn't going to do. Hurricane, warp again, more Stalker. He's going to be continuing on with those upgrades. KeeN is just so far behind in this game at this point. The Warp Prism is going to wreak havoc, likely on his main base. It does get scouted there, though. Hurricane turns it around, maybe looking for the third instead. KeeN down on Medivacs as he made all those Liberators. If those Liberators were maybe in a better position, it was sort of a quick decision that didn't quite work out for KeeN there. Setting up those Liberators. Hurricane breaking down those rocks, not worrying about that choke point again, but He's now getting into a 5th base. He's getting up more gateways. He's getting into 3-3. Once 3-3 finishes, those zealots will be unkillable. With the +3 armor, they just won't die. Even with the EMPs, it'll still be a tough fight. KeeN's now just starting his 2-2, so he's in a lot of trouble. I think he may just need to accept that he's not going to manage to clean sweep Hurricane. Here's that Zealot warping, and these are soon going to be 3-3 Zealots. They're going to have their +3 attack in just a second here. KeeN going to have to clean this up. Look at how strong these Zealots are. They don't even have +3 armor yet, but they just take so long to die. Just that one upgrade deficit. 8 SCVs going down, a loss KeeN can't afford. Maybe if KeeN, I think if KeeN wants to take this game at this point, he's going to need to get to a 200 army. Get some ghosts, land some miracle EMPs. But I don't know if Hurricane's going to give him that time here. KeeN's scanning to try and find that army, but even if he can find it, I don't know what he's going to do versus it. The +3 is now done for Hurricane, and it's mainly just bio for KeeN. These Zealots, they're just going to run forward and have a heyday. That mine is going to get a nice connection there, soften some of them up, but KeeN fighting down into this choke point. Oh god, the storm goes down, softening up a lot of that bio, and now Hurricane broke down those rocks, and he says, now there's nothing stopping me from just charging in here. Some of the Liberators are coming in. KeeN's, a lot of his bio, though, was out of position there, and that's going to be pretty problematic, but that was a bold engagement by Hurricane, charging up there. Taking a nice fight. Picking off some of these Templar is even nice. Even the Templar are so strong here. Now they have the +3 armor. Look at that. Those Marauders just having to do a lot of work to pick them off, but KeeN's losing so many SCVs in the main base. He's just, the dominoes have fallen and not in his favor there. These Zealots just wreaking havoc. I don't know if KeeN will be able to clean this up after all. Look at this bio. Having to work so hard. He will have 2-2, so his upgrade deficit won't be as huge. But he's still in an awful situation. He's even on army supply currently. But Hurricane double warp prisming it up. KeeN doesn't have a single medi... Well, actually, no, he's got 3, pardon me, but they're all out of energy. He's got a few more popping out, which will help. KeeN, I think, just going to have to go for one big fight here. Hurricane, though, has been building Colossus back at home. He's going to have 3 in a second. So many Archons, too. Oh, God. This has been a bit of a slow death for KeeN here. A lot of Zealots warping into the main base. GG gets called. Wasn't much else to say. KeeN just fell more and more behind, and Hurricane staying alive. Gonna try and fight to bring it back. So the 4th map is gonna be Eastwatch. And that is Hurricane's map pick. Now, there's a lot of room for KeeN to get something done, but it is a bigger map. Hurricane sort of played his game that time. Thank you all for tuning in. Alrighty, just getting these players into the lobby. Hope you guys are enjoying. I mean, I say that at the pretty much end of every game, but that game, it was sort of just a slow death for KeeN. Maybe he could have made it work, but Hurricane just played very well. Shutting that down, he did exactly what he needed to do there. Sometimes you see players sort of out mind game each other, and Hurricane just did exactly what he needed to do. Alrighty, both players are ready. We'll see. Okay, so spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map. Oh, got that backwards, pardon me. Playing for Team Meliora Esports, it is Hurricane. And his opponent, playing down in the bottom left-hand side of the map. Playing for Team Revolution, it is KeeN. So, we'll see. We haven't seen any crazy aggression or crazy cheese or anything just like that. Could always see something like DTs out of Hurricane on this map. I mean, it's not necessarily a given or too likely, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like that. KeeN, we'll see if he plays that sort of long macro game, goes to Ghost, tries to maybe hit a 3-base timing with them or something like that, but really, that's getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Hurricane, going to be going for that gateway expand. We've seen that every game out of him so far, I believe. Probe's going to be moving out to scout. Forgive me while I had a drink there. Got a lot of StarCraft to cast today. We've got another best of 7 after this, and this series could go to Game 5 possibly. Hurricane, good timing on that probe, gonna get on in there. Avoid that Reaper, and now KeeN. I'm gonna have to deal with that nuisance. The Marine will pop out though. Maybe able to catch the probe. We'll see if Hurricane's on point here. And I think this probe is gonna go down. Hurricane realizes that, tries to harass the Marine. Good micro from KeeN there. Does deny that. KeeN really trying to get that probe. I don't think he's going to get it. Needs to be so careful here. Could lose that Reaper. Gets the probe. Oh, another probe tries to get the assist there. That Reaper can't get out here, though. That one pylon block. I think Protoss lives have gotten a lot easier ever since that happened. Oh, pardon me. He can actually get out there. It's not like the other maps. That Reaper sneaking by the Adept, taunting it a little bit. Gonna be heading into the natural. Another Adept is popping out though there, so KeeN's Reaper will be forced back. Another Adept does pop out there. That's the third Adept though of KeeN's keeping track. Realizing similarities to the last game there. His Adept's moving in. Let's see. It's not gonna commit there. I think KeeN may be fully aware of what's going on right now. Starting his stim as well. Got the slightly quicker second racks here. Widowmine's going to get set up. Bit of a hidden position, but here comes Hurricane. Maybe looking to get something done. There's a Widowmine in the main base. Hurricane not going to push his luck or anything like that. Maybe going to shade on top of these Marines. There is the Widowmine there, though. It's hidden. But that mine not going off. He's trying to focus down the Oracle. Gonna have to settle for getting an Adept there, though, but SCVs had to be pulled. With this Medivac, though, KeeN should be able to keep these units alive. 2 Adepts simply don't have the DPS. So let's see what ended up going down there. 5 Marines for an Adept. Pretty decent trade for Hurricane. Now he's got his 3rd base going to be starting up in a second here. +1. Well, an eBay, presumably for +1, going to be on the way for KeeN. Another SCV or 2 going down. Nicely done by Hurricane there. Getting even a bit more damage done than he did in the last game. Not that it was too much damage done in the last game. But we'll see how KeeN's going to follow this up. It's possible he may try and go for something like another successful mine drop, and I think that is going to be the case there. As he boosts on out. Now Hurricane looks like he's quite ready for something like this. He's got a lot of map vision. Stalker's at the third. The question is, will he be able to defend his main? He's got a Phoenix that just popped out, which will certainly help with scouting this out. So KeeN gonna have to be very careful here. Hurricane sending that Phoenix out, and it might just be on the right path to find this. We'll see what KeeN's able to do. I think he's going to be scouted. That Phoenix, I mean, it's sort of like a pendulum swinging. Will he sneak by? But unless he boosts, I think he'll be found by that Phoenix. It's time and... No, yeah, he's going to be found. That is unfortunate for KeeN there. He's going to boost. The Oracles, I think, may be able to come back to intercept, but there's that Stasis Ward caught a lot of KeeN's army. The mines are going to burrow. Oracles are coming in. Widowmine going to detonate on that Phoenix, pick it off so the Medivac can actually escape. That might have been worth it. But all these other units are in trouble here. KeeN actually deciding to go to the main base. Will he unload those mines in order to save them? Doesn't actually do that, which is pretty unfortunate there. Going to go into the natural. Those probes are just re-transferring there. So far, not much damage being done for KeeN. He's getting a few probes right now. But Hurricane standing pretty strong so far. Resources lost certainly are in favor of Hurricane right now. Phoenix did go down, but these Oracles could activate their Pulsar Beam if they so choose. One of those Oracles may go down. That's a nice pickoff for KeeN. So he's getting a good chunk of damage done, mainly with just this small group of Marines just at the end there. So getting 7 probes. Hurricane taking a bit too much damage there. Looks like he was going to clean it up with relative ease with that good Stasis Ward, but quick thinking by KeeN managed to get him a bit more damage there. Hurricane is on 3 bases, but KeeN had built his own back at home. KeeN loving these Widow Mines. He's producing a lot, and Terran these days can make a lot of Widow Mines pretty quickly. Would that change there? Oh, there was another drop apparently. Unfortunately, ran into that Stasis Ward there. Maybe those Marines can get a sentry. Yeah, they actually do. So KeeN paying attention to all his units, at least getting something there. Robo just finishing up for Hurricane. So he will have that out. And Oracle's lurking about. Just getting Revelations off. No major SCV damage done. So KeeN's actually heading workers, and he's ahead in army supply. He might have just gotten a bit too much damage done there. Hurricane's going to have his +1 armor finishing up, but KeeN will also have his on the way. And now KeeN's going to be hitting this biotiming. That Oracle actually going to run right into that Widow Mine. Very unfortunate there. And Hurricane's situation looked like it could have been going pretty well for him, but ultimately KeeN managed to pull the game into his favor. Alright, we'll see if there's going to be another clutch Stasis Ward. It's about to expire. And I think it may just... How long does it have? We can't exactly tell on this overlay here. One Marine going to go down. That Stasis Ward will expire, and there's going to be no more. KeeN, not sure if he saw that. Or if he was just waiting for his reinforcements here, because KeeN's going to have a pretty significant army supply. Hurricane's going to have charge. And he's got a good gateway count here. 8 gateways. He's got his 2-2 on the way. His Psionic Storm is a little bit late. He warped in Templars. They've got enough energy, but they won't be able to storm. And now KeeN going to be coming in from 2 angles here. Might just hit a perfect pincer move. The small bit of bio is just going to pose a large threat to Hurricane. Now KeeN's loading up. He's going to hit the 3rd base here. He's going to stim on in once again at this natural, but he's got so much more, which is going to hit the 3rd base. Widow Mines are going to be able to burrow. KeeN's going to unload these units. Feedbacks went down. These mines are going to slaughter some of these zealots though, but looks like this attack may be cleaned up. He's getting some damage done. The 6 SCVs have fallen. Hurricane losing units at the north, taking trades at the south as well. And KeeN doing his best to micro this very well. The Stalker will blink forward, clean most of that up at the 3rd base, but now KeeN diving into the natural. He'll be able to focus some of this down, unpowering the pylon, but those zealots do warp in and force KeeN off. Hurricane taking damage, but staying alive. However, KeeN, his 4th base is on the way. He's getting his 2-2 as well. He will be down in upgrades for a while, as Hurricanes are quicker. Hurricane chrono boosting out probes, not upgrades. Going to try and catch back up in that economy here. Hurricane does have his own 4th base, which finished up here. Warp Prism as well. This can quickly turn the game in the favor of KeeN, but he is rallying his units to his main base to try and deal with this. KeeN's looking to go for another push, but his army isn't that significant just yet. He's got a lot of it tied up in this continuous production. He's thinking very smart, though. Oh, will these two Widow Mines, are they going to intercept his Prism? KeeN dropping in the main base, though. Going to pick off the Templar Archives, and did Psionic Storm finish? It did, though. Just no more High Templar are going to be able to be warped in. That's a big weight to have off your back for Terran. This Warp Prism I'm waiting to see, but KeeN simultaneously trying to hit every angle. KeeN's one of those sort of fanatical Terrans who will just try and pull you apart. A lot of SCVs or probes have fallen. Another Widow Mine drop, getting 12 probes there. This High Templar cannot even kill the mine in time. Oh god, is it going to be able to? I think it will. It's close. But, oh god, he's pulling that. Okay, the probes come in with the assist. God, that was worrisome. That would have been a display just of how awful the High Templar auto attack is. But hey, it's something, I guess, right? +3 on the way for Hurricane on both upgrades. Just +3 attack on the way for KeeN so far. We'll see if he starts his armor soon. But right now he's got the Ghost, he's got the Widow Mines, got Liberators too. So he's going to have quite a scary army. And this supply lead has grown in this game. With these Liberators locking down this position, it could be pretty rough for Hurricane. It's possible he'll be able to get some fantastic storms off. Feedbacks 2 of the Ghosts, and oh my god, those are the fantastic storms. KeeN forced back, but if Hurricane's going to take this fight, that's what he needed to do. However, now there's still some more Ghosts. EMP goes down on one of them. Another High Templar is lurking around. It does get EMP'd, though. I think it still has enough energy. That could make KeeN overconfident. Good blink forward from Hurricane there. Now, whether Hurricane's going to be able to shut this down. He goes forward, loses one of the Templar, though, uses the energy on the other just for a feedback. And now with all these Liberators coming in and sieging up, I think Hurricane's going to be in a lot of trouble right now. Counterattack is going on, but if Hurricane can't defend his main base, that's just going to be it for him. He's going to lose all these gateways, and with that, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Archons are moving forward, tanking, but there's just not enough for Hurricane. KeeN up 100 supply. GG gets called. KeeN takes the series 3-1.